he marries her, he has the where Shimon says wherever he has the advantage when he marries her, he has the disadvantage when he divorces her. Wherever he has the disadvantage when he marries her, he has the advantage when he divorces her. Produce attached to the ground when he marries her, it is his. When he divorces her, it is hers. Produce detached from the ground when he marries her, it is his, it is hers, and when he divorces her, it is his. If old slaves of old slave women fell to her, they should be sold. Land should be bought with the proceeds, and he enjoys the usrik of therefore Rabbi usrik. Therefore Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel says she need not sell them because they are the pride of her father's house. If old olive trees or old grapevines fell to her, they should be sold as wood. Land should be bought with the proceeds, and he enjoys the fruits thereof. Rabbi Yehuda says she need not sell them because they are the pride of her father's house. If one spent money on his wife's property, whether he spent much and ate little or spent little and ate much, what he spent, and what he ate. If he spent and did not eat, he must swear how much he spent and take compensation. A woman waiting a yavam to whom property fell, Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel agree that if she sells it or gives it away, the act is valid. If she died, what is it to be done with the ketubah and with the property that comes in and goes out with her? Beis Shammai says the husband's heirs divided in with the father's heirs, but Beis Hillel says the property remains in their possession. The ketubah is in possession of the husband's heirs. And the property that comes in and goes out with her is in the possession of the father's heirs. Okay. One
Okay.
more.
Yep. Higiach achiv maos. Hiniach, sorry, hiniach. Okay, you can see I'm tired because I'm misreading an obvious Hebrew word. Hiniach achiv maos. Okay, so we're talking about the Yavam over here. And remember the halacha is that when a Yavam marries his brother's widow, he also inherits his brother's entire estate. That's the incentive for him to marry the widow. Okay. And now, if the also what happens is that the kasuba, since the wife must have a kasuba, he's got to provide that kasuba, but the kasuba is the same kasuba that his brother left. So all of the property that the yavam owned before is not meshubad to the kasuba. Whatever the brother left over, that's meshubad. Okay. And now there's a machlokes tanaim as to whether everything in the Kesubah is meshubad or if it's just the landed properties that are meshubad. Okay. So what happens if the brother's estate included money or metaltalin, fruit or whatever? So here we have where the brother left him where the brother left him cash. So now he and let's say there's no property in the Kesubah. So he's got to have something to be able to show the his new wife that he's got properties as security for the Kesubah. So so this is all going to be according to Rabbi Meir. Okay. Yilakach behen karka. He has to use this money to buy land. V'hu ochel peros. And now he can carry on enjoying the peros and this. So it's his land and it's his peros. But this land is going to be meshubad to the kasubah. Peros hatlushin min karka. What happens if there is produce that is being already separated from the land? That's all. That's basically the same as cash. Yilakach behin karka, sell them, into money. Use the money to buy land. Ochel peros, and this now will also be mishubad to oh wow, just another news flash. You're
And I'm in my mind.
in the mamad. You're fine. I'm not. Who ochel peros. You know what happened? If the siren goes, I'll just grab my my Mishnah and rejoin from my phone.
Just gonna close the door here.
Oh, your wife is not going to come?
Yeah, she's gonna come down.
Yeah, okay, cool. Ochel peros. Hamachuber in bakarka, if he has fruit that is attached to the ground. Amar Rabbi Meir, shamin o san kama hen yafin beperos, v'kama hen yafin below peros. V'hamos hayilakach behen karka. I'm not sure why he has to do this whole assessment thing because if it's attached to the ground, I mean, we saw previously that Rabbi made this whole dance about things that are attached, produce that is attached to the ground when it's ripe. So it's basically already as if it's picked. Just say pick it. or whatever it is, he'll work out what the value is of the fruit, and now you have to buy, and now if he doesn't want to pick it right now, but you've got to evaluate it, and you've got to buy land with it in order to be more meshubed to the to the kasuba. הוא אוכל פרס. וחכמים אומרים, פרס המחוברים בקרקע שלו. If it's attached to the ground, it's his. That's basically it's karka. Anything that's still attached to the ground is effectively karka, and that belongs to him personally. But tlushin minat karka kol hakodim zacha bahen. So basically, what the machlokes between Rabbi Meir and the Chachamim goes beyond just the idea of he's it goes beyond the idea that he's just that he's got to sell it and buy land. The fact is that Chachamim say that the only thing that is meshubed to the Kesubah is landed property. All right, you don't have to worry about the produce or money or any metaltalin. Metaltalin, there's no shibud. So so now the question about the fruit that's on the land. If it's on the land, it's his because it's still attached to the ground. If it's already been harvested when the brother died, and then he died, and now it's been. So now the question is, remember, if the brother didn't have a yavam, and he died, now what happens to the land that's meshubed to her kasubah? She's going to be able to grab the land in order to pay for a kasubah, and the peros, um, and the peros also is like if she was being lost, if it was her land, if it was her land, okay, no, so that if anything that's attached would belong to the brother. So the question is now, can she grab it as a security? Um, okay, so whoever comes first, kadam hu zacha. If the Yavam gets hold of the fruit first, then it's his. Kadmahi, if she grabs the produce as security against her kasuba, then fine. Yilakach be'en karka, it's as if she's not, it's now hers, but since she's now married to the Yavam, she has to again to convert her cash property into land, v'hu ochel peros, so that he's allowed to eat the peros of the land. Okay, Kanasa, once he has married her. So we said this before in Yevamos, but once he marries her, she's his wife exactly like any other wife would be, excepting for the fact that the Kesubah is only on the property of his late brother. Okay. Lo yamar la hari Kesubah sich munachas ala shulchan.
Sure, before you go to the next one, I just want to make sure my wife is coming down, which is up, okay?
Okay, no problem.
Right, coming down. I have to call her because I'm stuck in the mamad. I can't open the door.
Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh. Hi, did you hear the alarm? Oh, that's no good. I can't open the door, so maybe you could help me open the door, okay? Okay, bye. She's sitting in the living room. She's not very good.
It's okay. The siren hasn't gone yet, so fine.
What? You want the handle up or down? You want the handle up or down? What?
There. Okay, so back with Mishnah Ches. Um, the Yavam married his brother's widow, and the brother didn't leave over any landed properties. So now, what does the he wants to say? Look, don't worry about your kasuba. Lo yamar la. Hare kasuba sich munachas ala shulchan. I've got the money. Yeah, look, you see, I've got plenty of cash. Your kasuba is secure. Don't worry. Ela kol nechasav achrayin lekasuba. No, if the um every all the nechasim. Oh, yeah, sorry. This is where the brother did leave over property. And he can't say no, no. I'm not. I don't want that to be security, but I've got cash. Don't worry. The brother, the whatever the brother left over is automatically meshubah to the kasuba. V'chein lo yomar adam lo ishto, and no person can say to his wife, "Harei kasuba seich menachas ala shulchan ela kol nechasav acharayin lekasuba." This is a Tanai based in basically that all of a man's property is automatically on lien to his wife's kasuba. Gerusha, if he divorces her, ein la ela kasubasa, then all she's got is the kasuba. Um, which what would you have thought otherwise? Um, yeah, um, that he just has to he just has to give her the money, and then he's allowed to sell all of the other properties that he inherited from his brother. Um, Hechzira, if he decides if he changes his mind, he divorces her and immediately wants to remarry her, Harehi kechol hanashim. Then she's just like any other woman who goes back to her husband on the basis of the original kasuba. This is assuming that he divorced her and had not yet paid out the kasuba before he decided to remarry her. Um, so then the automatic assumption there is that the wife is going back on the basis of her first kasuba. Ve'ein la ela kasuba sabilvad, and all she has is her original kasuba. Right, Perik Tes. Hakosev leishto. Okay, so now we're looking at the situation where a husband when a husband has rights to his to the properties that his wife brings into the marriage. The standard case is that the properties belong to her, but he has the right of the usufruct, so he can farm them and get the produce, and those all belong to him. But let's say, and before he gets married, he tell he they decide that they're going to have a different kind of business relationship between them. He writes to his wife, "Dinu dvarim ein li b'nechasayich." He says, "I don't have any rights in your land." Harei zeh ochel peres b'chayeha. Nonetheless, he is still allowed to consume the fruits. V'im mesa, and if she dies before him, Yorosha, then he inherits the lands, no problem. So in Kain Lama Kasav La Dino Dvarim Aini B'Nechasayich, if he wrote such a thing, what's the actual effect? She'im Machra V'Nasna Kayam, that all that happens is that gives her the right to sell the property if she wants to. Okay, and he cannot place any objection because it's her land. Okay, so now we're going to start stepping up the amount that he is withdrawing his rights from his wife's property. Kasav la din advarim ein li b'nechasayich u'b'peros sehen. He says, if I have no, he renounces his rights to the property and to the peros. Okay, harei ze eino ochel peros b'chayeha. So then the fruit does not belong to him, it belongs to her, and she's allowed to consume them or sell them or whatever, and then the money is hers and whatever. Mesa yorsha. But nonetheless, if she dies, he will inherit the property. Rabbi Yehuda Omer Leolam Ochel Peros. So Rabbi Yehuda comes and says, well, actually, he's allowed to eat the fruit of the fruit. In other words, if his wife takes the fruit and sells it, and then buys more property, and then from the second property, the husband is allowed to eat the fruit. Okay, so he's saying, and that's the peri peros. Ad sheyichtov la dinu dvarim eini b'nechasayich uva perosayich b'peri peroseon ad olam. Unless the husband writes, I have no rights to your property or the peros or the peri peros forever ad infinitum. What happens if he writes to her, Kasaf la dinu dvarim eini b'nechasayich u'b'perosein u'b'peri-perosein b'chayayich u'b'moseich. Not in my lifetime, not in your lifetime, and not after your death. Eino ochel peros b'chayeha. He has no rights to the peros during her lifetime. V'mesa, and if she dies, eino yorsha. Then he doesn't even receive the inheritance. Thus says the Tanna Kama. Rabban Shimon ben Gamliel mer im mesa yirashena. Nope, does not work. That does not work because mipnei shehisna al mashikasu b'Torah. You can't make a condition on what's written in the Torah. The Torah says that a man inherits his wife. Therefore, it was meaningless. His statement that he doesn't inherit her is a meaningless statement, and therefore he would nonetheless inherit her, even though he wrote that he doesn't.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
Okay, and that is the halacha.
Okay.
All right. We've got just a couple minutes. Let's do as much chazar as we can before I need to go.
Okay. He must give her a silver mop for her needs, and she eats with him on the night of every Sabbath. If he does not give her a silver mop for her needs, her handiwork is hers. What must she do for him? The weight of 5 selim of warp in Judah, which equals 10 selim in Galilee, or the weight of 10 selim of wood in Judah, which equals 27 in Galilee. If she was nursing, they decrease her handiwork requirement and add to her food. And when does this apply? In the case of the poorest in Israel, but in the case of the wealthy, everything is according to his wealth. A woman's findings and her husband's handiwork. Okay, a woman's findings and her handiwork. We call, but husband, her inheritance enjoys it. I'm sorry. A woman's findings and her handiwork belong to her husband, and her inheritance enjoys the fruit of her during her lifetime. Restitution for a disgrace and impairment belongs to her. Rabbi Yehuda ben Becerra says, when it is in a hidden place, 2/3 belong to her and 1/3 to him. When it is in open, 2/3 belong to him and 1/3 to her. His share is given to him immediately, but as for hers, land is bought with it, and he enjoys it. If one agrees to give money to his son-in-law and his son-in-law dies, the sages say he can say, to your brother, I wanted to give, but to you, I do not want to give. Okay.
Vamos.
Yud Beis Hey. If he performed Kalitza before 2 judges or before 3, if it was discovered that one was a relative, one was disqualified, a Kalitza is not valid. But Reb Shimon and Reb Yochanan and Sanla validated, and once it happened that someone performed Kalitza when only he and she were present in the prison, and the case came before Rabbi Akiva, and he validated it. The commandment of Kalitza he performed as follows. He and his Yavavim come to the court, and they give him advice appropriate to him, as it is said, and the elders of the city shall summon him and speak to him. She then says, my husband's brother refuses to establish a name for his brother in Israel. He is not willing to take me in Yubim, and he says, I do not want to take her. Take her. They said this in the holy language. Then his brother's wife shall approach him in the presence of the elders and remove his shoe from his foot and spit before him. Spittle discernible to the judges. And she shall declare, saying, so should be done to the man who would not build his brother's house. They used to dictate only until this point, but when Rabbi Harkinas dictated under the elder tree in the village of Etam and completed the entire chapter, it became the established custom to complete the entire chapter. And his name shall be called in Israel, and the house of the one whose no shoe was removed. The commandment of the incumbent of the judges is not on the disciples. Rabbi Yehuda said the commandment is incumbent upon all those standing there to say, the one whose shoe is removed, the one whose shoe is removed, the one whose shoe is removed. And Beit Shammai says only those who are betrothed may refuse, but Beit Hillel says both of those who are betrothed and those who are married may refuse. Beit Shammai says only the husband may be refused, but not the Yavam. And while Beit Hillel say both the husband and the Yavam may be refused, Beit Shammai says refusal may be only made in his presence, but Beit Hillel says it may be made whether in his presence or not. And Beit Shammai says only in the court, but Beit Hillel says whether in the court or in court or out of court. Beit Hillel says Beit Shammai she may refuse while a minor even 4 or 5 times. Beit Shammai replied, the daughters of Israel are not to be treated as promiscuous. Rather, she may refuse and wait until adulthood or refuse and marry.
Okay, I'm going to have to go at this point.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry about
of course, don't worry.